I'm Amy Grimaldi. I just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to myself and my channel, explain to you who I am and what kind of videos you'll be seeing here. You've probably seen a whole bunch already if you've looked at my channel at all. I posted a lot of videos of my ridiculous children and one real estate video. I'm going to also post draping videos. If those of you that don't know what draping is, it's how you make patterns for clothing by putting the fabric directly onto a dress form and shaping it how you want, and taking it off and laying it on paper and making a flat pattern. Most people just learn how to flat pattern. They don't learn draping, but it's something that I was taught in college. And I'm actually considered an expert in draping, patterning, and sewing. So I figured I would share my knowledge with the world because it's a dying art, especially in this country, and I really love it. I find it much easier because you're seeing a visual representation of what you want, so you can get it exactly how you picture it in your head before going to paper. I find that easier, so I'm going to post some videos of that. I have another room in the house for draping and patterning and sewing. I'll post in here. I'll make real estate informational videos because I became a real estate agent about 3 or 4 years ago after we bought our house. And I recognize that there is a lot of aspects of buying a house, buying and selling houses, that the average person doesn't know. And I think a lot of people in the industry probably like it that way because then they don't get questioned as much, or they have a bit more freedom. But I prefer if people knew more. I don't like the thought that people might be taken advantage of just because they don't know any better. It's kind of the same thing like if you take your car to the mechanic and you don't know anything about cars. There's good mechanics and there's bad mechanics. There's mechanics that are going to tell you you need a whole bunch of stuff done when you don't. And I feel the same way about real estate. Like, if you don't know what's supposed to happen or what your professionals are supposed to be doing for you, you could get screwed over, and that really bothers me. So I'll post videos explaining different parts of that. You should know that that really is only accurate for New York, specifically Long Island, New York. New York functions differently than the rest of the country. And Long Island is different than the city, which is different from upstate. So most of my real estate videos are mainly geared towards Long Island. The draping is really great for anyone interested in fashion or costumes. I studied costume technology at Purchase College's Conservatory of Theater Arts and Film. I worked on Broadway. I worked in various theaters around the country. I've worked for rental houses. I've worked for a bridal store. I've managed companies. I have a lot of very varied experience when it comes to making clothing. I've draped for a lot of different companies, so I have all different ways of going about doing things, the quick and dirty way and the proper drawn out way as well. So I'll try to teach both of those so that you can really figure out for yourself what works best. Also, a lot of my videos are about my crazy kids. I have 5-year-old twins, Charlotte and Luca, and then I have an almost 3-year-old daughter, Elena. We are done, no more children, and they're very close in age, and it's funny because the twins are kind of small and Elena is normal size. I mean, she was giant baby. She was a 10-pound baby. She looked like a sumo wrestler. I'll post a picture of that. She looks normal now, but she's normal size, and the twins are kind of small, so when we go out, people aren't sure if we have triplets or not. And honestly, she learned to talk so much earlier than they did that they're all kind of on the same mental level as far as conversing goes. They're all very wacky in their own special way, so we take a lot of videos of their silliness, and I'll post a bunch of those so you can kind of see my ridiculous life. If there's anything else interesting in my life or that I think I do well, I'll post videos of that. I'm not the best cook in the world, but there are a few things that I make really well. I never really started cooking until I got married. And we're married almost 7 years. So, you know, I might post some videos just telling you stories about things, or maybe watching me cook, or me attempting to do Christmas cookies with my kids. I don't know if I'm going to do that again. That was kind of a disaster last year. You know, this is just a channel about my life. Any wisdom I can impart, I will attempt to do that. And anything ridiculous that happens, I will share that. I am not a big fan of like the Instagram life, you know? People post only photoshopped, perfectly posed versions of their life. I would much rather share every ridiculous, awful, disastrous thing that goes on in our house, because that's more real, and honestly I think it's funny. Like, maybe not in the moment, wiping up poop from all over the house isn't funny, but as soon as it's cleaned up, it is funny. And I can recognize that in the moment as well. Even if I'm crying and screaming, I can realize, like, this is going to be funny in about 10 minutes when I'm not covered in poop anymore. So that's kind of my outlook on life. And that's pretty much it. This is my home office. Maybe I'll take you on a tour of my house at some point. It's just a ranch, an average size ranch. We have a pretty awesome property. We got 3/4 of an acre, which is not easy to find on Long Island. And it's mostly like treed, which is nice too. It's not just like a bare open plot. So we have some privacy, and we've put so many things in that backyard for our kids and our dog to enjoy. I mean, mostly we bought the house for the yard, and we just work on the house continuously. It's funny. We finish a project, and my husband and I sit down and are like, oh, thank God that's done. And then like a week later, we are ripping up a floor or wanting to knock down a wall or something. But anyway, so if we have any house projects, maybe I'll film that and give some people an idea of how to go about it. But pretty much that's the gist of my channel. It's just my life as a mother of 3, happily married woman, working in real estate, formerly making costumes for theater. And I'll let you share in this journey with me. Thanks for watching.